It's a bit close to home, right?
I need to get rid of them because I just feel like that's easier to remove. The tenant that you want needs to be your ideal tenant.
When you're always looking in the future, it will never become the present. It's always about that initiative to see what's going on and see where you can slot in so that you're having a positive effect on everyone else.
Whilst we would like to target people who are in need and make our business support other people as well whilst we're making money, if it's not making us money, it's not working.
Actually, just go and do it. Go and do it, go and fail.
Welcome to the Property Project podcast, where we talk all things property, but also help you to resolve some of the dilemmas that you come up with.
But before you do that, we'd love if you could help us by liking the video, subscribing to our channel so you could get more content from us. Okay, so I'm managing a rent-to-rent HMO, and one of the tenants is constantly late with rent payments, causing issues with cash flow. I'm torn between giving them more chances or starting the eviction process. What should I do, and how can I avoid this in the future? What do you think? It's a bit close to home right now.
It's a bit close to home right now. It's a bit close to home.
Yeah.
I feel like at the end of the day, the only way we're going to be able to explain or relate to this one is if we kind of explain a little bit about ours. So we are... we have a rent-to-rent portfolio for HMOs as well, and we usually work with the council to help them with their situation of homelessness, but also help us to have consistency of rent, and also help the landlords have consistency of rent as well. So that's what we've done with that setup. So this one hits home because we are having that situation where some of the tenants aren't paying on time. They might be paying, but they're not paying on time, and that in turn affects us being able to pay the landlord. We are always consistent with our rent. We feel that that's really important.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we depend on references for our business. But outside of that, it impacts our business because we're always having to overcompensate for late payments. So personally, what we've done in this situation is connect with the council. It might be different if you have working professionals. If you have working professionals, get rid of them. Because I just feel like that's easier to remove. From the property.
They are easier to remove because, as you said, like the council tenants will, obviously, if the council tenant goes to the council, they're going to advise them on the ways for them to still provide housing.
Yeah.
And as you know, like with the laws and everything, the changes in laws and everything like that, tenants have a lot more rights than landlords, or in this case, managing companies. Now, do you know what I mean? So it's a lot harder to evict council tenants because they will be guided to do the right things for themselves.
Yeah,
which is fine.
Stay put.
Which is stay put.
Stay put until whatever processes are in place.
Yeah.
So I would be saying to you, if you have a working professional in there and you've sourced them on your own, so through spare room, open rent, whatever it is, then I would say you hand them the eviction notice, because you can do that. I can't remember what section it is, but a lot of people...
21.
No, it's not Section 21. So Section 21 is where you...
that no fault of it. No, that's not. No.
Yeah, that's no fault of the tenant. So you just want to evict them for whatever reason. Maybe that's not necessarily no fault of them, but it's nothing to do with rent arrears. If they have gone against the contract itself, then you can do them. I feel like it's Section 8, and I'm going to correct this. Hopefully we'll be able to put it on the screen and correct it. But I think it's something like Section 8 or Section 7, something like that you can serve a tenant if they're in rent arrears. It's Section 21 if you just want to remove them from the property for any other reason, pretty much. Whether you might be selling the house, or you just no longer want that tenant because they're not able to pay the new rent that you want to provide them, or for whatever reason it is, that's when you serve Section 21. But if a tenant is in rent arrears, there is another section that you can serve them that says you are going against the contract that you have signed, and now we've got to evict you. And I don't believe that process is that long, but we haven't been through that process ourselves. But if we have any more information on it, then we can provide that. So for me, if it's a working professional who is within rent arrears or whatever, they're paying the rent late, I would just evict them under that section that covers the rent arrears not being present. But if it's a
council tenant.
If it's a council tenant, I would be saying that you should work closely with the council and the housing officer who placed them. It's really important that when you are housing council tenants, that you're working closely with the council, because they are the ones that are providing these tenants a place to stay. They might not be responsible long term, but you do have the upper hand. Like I have sat with council staff and housing officers and been like, listen, I will serve all these tenants, every single one of them, a section, whatever, and ask them to leave because it's not serving. Like, it should be a win for everyone. They should be able to have comfortable, reliable housing, which we are providing. The landlord should be able to be getting their rent, regardless of any situations, which is happening. The council should be like lessening their list of homelessness, which they're managing to do with our portfolio. So the only person who's losing is us because we're not getting the rent on time. So it's like, if we can't make it a win-win for everyone, then there's no point in this. So I think, first of all, before you are going to evict, work with the council, because now we've had that conversation.
It all depends on what situation you're in it.
Yes, for sure. But now we're in that conversation with the council. They're putting things like behavioural contracts in place. They're now allocating a specific person to make sure that the council tenants are doing what they're supposed to be doing with the property, because the property sometimes is really filthy.
What did they call it? They said that they will make the tenants sign an ABC agreement, which
ASB. ASB?
Acceptable behaviour contract.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Basically meaning that the tenant or the council tenant is basically told or reminded of their duties to literally have the house clean, pay the rent on time, look after their space, things like that. Just things that come under acceptable behaviour. And for them to sign it, that means that they acknowledge that and they need to uphold that. Otherwise, then they can fall under the grounds of being evicted, basically.
And I think just the last thing as well, it's like really good that you are thinking about whether or not you should be evicting this person, because it just shows that you have a heart, for one. But number two, the main thing is that you're not housing someone in your own house. This isn't the Ukraine support where you can have someone from Ukraine, in your home, and there's not much. You're not running a business. You're genuinely doing it to care for somebody else or provide support to someone else. This is not the same situation. You are running a business, and yes, whilst we would like to target people who are in need and make our business support other people as well, whilst we're making money, if it's not making us money, it's not working. So it's good that you're thinking that way, but at the front of everything, you are running a business, and your business is not going to survive if you are putting above sometimes the feelings of others when it's really your business that you got to focus on.
So in a nutshell, if it's council tenants, work with the council in order to put things in place before. If not, then obviously go through there's process. No improvement, then eviction process.
Yeah.
If it's what would you call working professionals, then just go straight for the eviction process.
Yeah.
And obviously things, I think another part was that was how can I avoid this in the future? I think what you put in the contract, putting things in like, making sure they understand that there are increments or
room
payment penalties.
Yeah.
Because room checks are good.
Yeah.
But it's not really going to help you with payments.
But it's as a whole, isn't it? It's like the behaviour, you have to be able to identify the behaviours that you want from a tenant. So if you have somebody who's not clean and tidy, there might be a situation where that person is not consistent within their own environment. Why would they be consistent with paying you? So it's like looking at the bigger picture, not always just about how you're going to get the rent. The tenant that you want needs to be your ideal tenant. Like, create that tenant. And it sounds really harsh, but that's what you need to do. If we want to work with the council, the first time we placed with the council, we kind of had anyone in there. Now we are placed with the council again, and we're like, nope, that person can't stay. I asked them questions about, what they would do if they hadn't made the money to pay rent. And they were like, I don't know, I'll just call the council. That's not good enough for me to hear. So it's like making sure that you have the criteria in your head of who you want living in your spaces, but also making sure that that's clearly indicated in the contracts that you're providing to whoever the providers that you're working with, whether that be the council, whether that be a domestic abuse service that you're placing victims of domestic abuse, whether that be working professionals that you've got in there, whoever your provider is, make sure that the contract is tight enough to create the ideal tenant within that contract, so that if they go against that, you can say, well, this is what you've gone against. You haven't been consistent with rent. That's clause number 2. You haven't been consistent with cleaning your room. You haven't given us access to room checks. You haven't, taken care of your space. Whatever it is, it's in the contract, and so people cannot argue that.
100%.
Fair to say?
100%. Cool. So yes, moving on. We just a little update, really. I mean, last time we was here was how long ago? But was it a month ago? A month and a half?
Probably.
What's new? What's new in your life?
What's new is we beefed again.
Why?
Is it too early?
It's up to you. It's up to you. It's up to you.
No, we didn't beef. But do you know what it is? I feel like we've been having these conversations about timing now.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I am really bad with timing. A part of that, to be fair, I can't even blame it on ADHD. I feel like I'm just bad with timing. And it's not acceptable. And I think I feel like we can do things in such a short amount of time. Like like yesterday was Friday. What's Friday? When was Friday? 2 days ago.
2 days ago, yeah.
Obviously, I'm working. I'm thinking if I finish at 5, we can get here for 5:30. That's not gonna be. Do you know what I mean? And the fact is, I'm not always gonna finish at 5 o'clock. I know that the line of work that I have, last minute things do happen.
It can come. Yeah.
Exactly. Or like today, you have football, so it's like we overcompensate.
Which I'm very passionate about, by the way. It's not just obviously it's just passionate.
Yeah.
Like the passion for football.
Yeah.
Is why it's kind of a topical conversation. It's not just like, just.
Yeah, but whatever you're doing, like you're allowed to do what you want to do. Do you know what I mean? 100%. It's just that with that comes thinking about really timetabling the things that we have written down.
Yeah.
So I feel like we've highlighted today that one thing we really want to do before the year ends. I'm not talking about New Year's resolutions, because next year for us is not guaranteed. By the grace of God, we will see next year. But at the same time, no time is guaranteed. So for us, working on that is really important. So that's something that is a life update for us. I feel like from now on, if we are late, we have a penalty. Do you hear me? We have a penalty. Charge us, because we're not going to take it seriously otherwise.
No, but I think we will. It's just like as you said, like we've tried to fit in a lot of things, and we're not giving ourselves a buffer of if things go wrong. For example, when I went up to Reading, for example, and I had to sort some stuff out. What's that?
No, I'm seeing where you're going with this.
Oh, no. I had to sort some stuff out. It's like, in my head, I've got a checklist of things that I can bang out in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
But, and in an ideal world and on a great day, I'm going to be able to bang those things out.
Yeah.
However,
2 hours is not enough time.
Not even just that though, but it's like understanding that maybe the first objective in that list might have a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not just I can go there and then tick that off. That might mean that I have to then go somewhere else to fulfill that. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like let's say for example for the keys.
Yeah.
So I've gone to go and get cut keys for the HMO that we were setting up, and in my head it's like if I just go to Morrison's down the road or Timpson's down the road,
which is literally down the road,
and cut the keys, and then that will be the first objective ticked. But then the amount, I didn't factor in the amount of keys, so the amount of keys, it took quite a while. I didn't factor in the fact that they might cut the keys and the keys are incorrect, which happened with 2 of the keys. Do you know what I mean? So that now means that on my list of 5 things to do, I'm now having to put a 6th and a 7th and rejig stuff, because it's like either I'm going to be wasting time if I'm sitting there waiting for the keys. What else can I do in that time? And that might throw me off, I might have to double back on myself now, because I've got to come back to Timpson's to collect the keys once he's done with it. So little things like that, just understanding the buffers that can happen and being realistic, understanding or prioritizing what actually needs to happen. Because again, like it come to a situation where I said to you, okay, when I was going to go up to Reading and sort that stuff out, I was under the impression that the tenants were going to be moving in tomorrow, which is why it was high priority for me to do all those things. When I messaged you and I said, okay, when's the tenants actually coming in? And you said, well, it's on our say-so, so when we're ready. And I thought, okay, 1, 2, 3 out of the list actually can be left. When can I next do it? Monday. Let's go again.
Okay.
So let's do what we can now, because other things creep in, and then we come back and then do what we need to do.
We do have a really toxic trait of trying to cram 1,000 things into one, because we don't want to, number one, let people down, but also we feel like we are superhuman, and that is not always possible for us to do. So I feel like that's definitely a life update. By the time we come back, we want to have seen an improve. We have improved. Like, don't get me wrong, we definitely have improved. I feel like 80% of the time we are on time, but there are certain things that we always put on the back burner. We're like, okay, if we're like 30 minutes late, an hour late, it's not that big of a deal, but it actually is, because it is a priority to us, and we're.
But think about it as well, though, because again, obviously, that's a testament to us. I feel that we want to do X, Y, and Z and do everything under the sun. But at the same time, we're in the process of confirming the roles for property managers, and this is exactly the thing. If you guys are watching this as property managers, or you want to get involved as a property manager, you need to understand that you need to be freeing up our time.
Yeah.
You need to be freeing up our time. At the moment, our time is not freed up because we're having to do X, Y, and Z and do too many things. Do you know what I mean? And so therefore it's like about that bit of initiative that, okay, you can see that we're running up and down. Is there anything that I can do as a property manager?
Yeah.
Or is there anything for the virtual assistants that they can do that they're seeing that we're doing? Like, again, guest communications or do, like, you know, the emails that are going backwards and forwards. Sometimes it's always about that initiative to see what's going on and see where you can slot in so that you're having a positive effect on everyone else.
And I guess that moves us into like the update of growing our team. I feel like the first time we started this podcast, we were a 2-man band and we had no one and we were overwhelmed. I was at work at the time.
Yeah.
So now we've grown our team, and it's crazy to think that we have a team of 5 at the moment, and that we're still growing.
More than that.
Yeah.
6.
Who's the 6th person? Who am I missing? Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. You're right. You're right.
I don't even want to know which one you forgot, but I don't want to out you.
No, because I'm thinking obviously the 4 property managers, a VA.
Yeah. So that's
we
even
count?
7 then.
Oh, do we count as the team?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 7, a team of 7. No, but I thought we don't count as the team.
No,
I'm
we
sure
do
I'm
count
right.
as a team.
I'm
We do
sure
count
I'm
as a
right.
team.
But it's growing essentially,
Yeah.
and I feel like it's crazy to think that by the end of the year we probably will have a team of 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Possibly more.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that is a huge thing for us. I feel like I was speaking to one of our mentees that we're working with, and I was just sending a voice note this morning kind of saying, like, I love the fact that she reminds us of where we were. She always takes us back to the fact that we were all being trained by the same people, and, you know, we had got our first rent service accommodation and we were being shouted out on that platform. And then here we are a couple years down the line, and I don't know, everything feels so much different, but I feel like we forget that.
Yeah.
Like,
we're always looking at the present.
Yeah.
And we're so focused on
not
a
even the
bubble.
present. Sometimes we're in the future.
Oh, yeah, true.
I feel like sometimes we're so far ahead.
And the issue, that's fine, but the issue with that is that when you're always looking in the future, it will never become the present.
Yeah. We got to
We're always like, we're never just looking at, okay, this is what we were doing and this is what we've managed to do now. We're always looking, what can we do?
Yeah.
Where can we go? And that's why whenever we celebrate, or we don't even celebrate any achievements.
I was literally
it's just
saying
straight,
that today. We fake celebrate. We'll be like, yeah, let's get a Maggie. and then that's that. And the next thing, but it's true. That's literally us. We don't think like, let's go out for dinner, let's invite family out and celebrate this achievement. Like celebrate as if it's like a birthday party. Like we don't ever do that. So like even my 30th, I can't believe I'm saying that. Even my 30th, I feel like a part of it is gonna be like, wow, look what I've done before 30. Yeah. And I feel like we're so critical of ourselves because like already I'm thinking about 35, mate. If I do not have millions in my bank account, that's it. That is it. Like I'm like, what else? What else after all of this? So it's like I haven't even hit 30 yet, but I'm like, okay, 35 is the next milestone.
Yeah.
Then what? But I feel like sometimes, and we've said this quite a lot, it's so important for us to be in the present and sometimes in the past. People always say you don't be in the past, but like, how do you express gratitude if you don't recall the past?
Yeah.
How do you express like being in the new position that you're in now if you don't remember the past? So
question for you.
Yeah.
As you're approaching 30, rapidly approaching 30, by the way. Let me just remind you again, you're rapidly approaching.
I'm okay with it. There's something funny, guys.
Do you feel like, what kind of attitude do you have towards turning 30? Are you thinking,
No,
Are you thinking that your attitude is more, I can't believe I'm turning 30, or I need to have done stuff by the time I turn 30?
Yeah.
Is that what you're thinking?
Both.
Okay.
So you probably sensed a lot more of like, okay, so the next update will make sense with this comment, but I was kind of like, I can't be in this position. I refuse to cross 30 and be at home with parents. Like, I actually refuse. Like, I'm not. Yes, I never went home from 18. Like, after I went to uni, I've been out of the house.
Yeah.
To come back for 2 years, I just can't do it. I was like, I can't make it a third. Like, it's not, it can't be.
Yeah.
So I felt like they were becoming more pressure. And I'm like, I'm counting down. Birthday's in February. Anybody who wants to give me gifts, I'm very open. I'm not picky. From £10 to £100 to £1 million, like whatever you want to give, I will accept.
Set up your cash up.
Oh boy.
I don't even think that's going on anymore.
What, really?
I think
They
shut it
disqualified
down.
it.
They shut it down.
Yeah.
Or shutting it down. Anyway.
Any way for people to get money, they just don't want us to live. But
To be honest, I feel like they're shutting it down themselves as a company, maybe moving on to other things. But I'm digressing.
Good luck to Cash App.
But yeah, carry on. You say.
But yeah, I feel like I was kind of applying pressure. Like, even when it came, it's weird because we had that conversation in the last podcast about marriage. And then, even though I'm someone who's quite chilled about it, just because I know what our end result will be, I started panicking and feeling like, okay, cool. Like, I'm going to be 30. I want to have kids. Like, what's going to happen? So I feel like that has been the added pressure of that. But at the same time, I'm also like, wow, 30. I'm so excited because I feel like 20 was great, but 20s were like finding yourself. I feel like I really struggled to find who I wanted to be in my 20s. And it's not until like I feel like 28, it really clicked for me. Like, wow, like I have to be a business owner. Like I didn't know who I wanted to be because I was trying to follow what society was expecting of me. I didn't like school.
Influences as well.
Yeah, I didn't like school. Like, my friends will tell you I was in all their lessons, but I was never in my own. Like, it's uni, I went to one lecture.
Yeah.
And I ended up being in a group of people who, you know, when you have to submit, well, you wouldn't know because obviously you didn't go to uni, but there's like this last bit where you submit work, like group work.
Yeah.
And it was so bad that they put me with the people that are the non-attenders.
Oh, really?
So we all virtually did this group work and never met in person. And I think we met once.
I think I remember that time.
To piece it together. Yeah, that was literally it. So I just didn't enjoy places like that. When I go to work, I'm bored. Like, I love my job, but I'm bored. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like the late 20s really, like, I don't know, inspired me to be who I am and growing into today. But I think it's both. Like, there's a bit of panic and urgencies because, like, everyone else talks about 30 and, like, you're in your mids now. But at the same time, I'm like, wow, I'm so excited to be 30.
Do you know what I think is going to happen, right? You're going to have that that growing anxiousness as you approach 30.
Yeah.
Natural, nothing wrong with it, because I feel like I had that.
You definitely had that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I had that.
I've met so many people who had that.
Yeah.
All my friends who turned 30 had that.
Yeah. However, I feel like there's a lot of people that when you hit 30, two things happen. Either you're almost like born again, I feel. And I feel like that fire in your belly is there. Like, you realize that, do you know what? I'm 30. There's a whole lot of life still yet to live.
Amen.
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 In Jesus' name.
Amen. Honestly.
But, or either that happens, or you start to kick yourself because of the regrets of in your 30, in your 20s, where you feel like you didn't really do a good job of taking risks or finding yourself or anything like that.
I brought it back.
Do you know what I mean? But one of two things are going to happen. I encourage people to take up the mindset of understanding that life is only just starting now. Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't happen without taking the action. Yeah. A lot of the time in the 20s, like when people have regrets in their 30s, right? Because they had so many different ideas, and they probably even ideas that they've seen other people go and get see success in. They've had that idea, but because they didn't take action on those things, they're just kicking themselves for it. Yep. But I guarantee you there's going to be more things happening. You're going to realize, you're going to see more people having success around you. And I feel like rather than having like the negative mindset of, oh, do you know what? I wish I started, or I wish I did that. Actually, just go and do it. Yeah. Go and do it. Go and fail.
I am 29 still though, so I feel like we can do this talk at like when I'm like turning the day before.
No, but I'm getting you ready for that. I'm getting you ready for that.
I'm still holding on to 29. I feel like 29 is such a beautiful age. I don't know why I feel that. Even the number itself. Like, I actually don't like the number 2, but I feel like 29. I don't know what it is. It's just such a lovely age.
Yeah.
I'll be sad to let it go, but I'm very, very eager to be in 30s. I am. I feel like 30s is where most of my life is going to happen. I'm going to look back and be like, I don't want to leave my 30s. Like, I'm ready to leave my 20s for sure. I feel like half of 20s I was not even a serious candidate.
29, 30 or 31 to be.
Yeah, for sure.
When I was younger.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
I see my cousins, my older cousins, like, and they're like, yeah, I'm going uni, yeah, I'm 25. I thought, right, you're old. And then... but the thing is, it's like, obviously we're past that now.
Yeah,
and I still feel like there's so much out there to live and to do and to still get wrong.
One of our mentees thinks we're literally ancient. Like,
he
said we got together and he was 7 years old.
It's crazy.
That's the age we're at now, where the youngest are comparing what age they were when we were doing things. Like, that is crazy. That did make me feel really old. But I feel like, I am really excited. I'm not really worried about that. And I feel like a lot of the achievements we have had are amazing, but I just know the 30s for both of us is going to be immense. Like, I'm very excited for it. And I used to be scared to say that before because I felt like...
You didn't really believe in it. You didn't really feel... Like, you might say it, but you're not thinking... You can't see how it will happen.
Yeah.
But now
I really do.
I feel like I've always been calm because I could see what needed to happen.
Yeah.
I felt like we just needed to have, and more so me personally, because I'm speaking for myself, but just having the courage to actually just be like, you know what, let's go for it.
Yeah,
let's go for it. What's the worst that could happen?
You have changed immensely. 100%. Because I feel like if I used to tell you, let's do this random thing, you'd be like, hell no, like, what do I look like? But now I'll be like, should we do this? And Sean will be like, yeah, why not? And I'll be like, sure. You've changed. Like, who are you? So you've definitely changed in that respect. Yeah. So,
and again, I feel like that's just because, like, again, throughout my 20s, I was always safety first.
Yeah.
Safety
buckles
first.
Strapped in. Yeah. Helmet.
Like, knee pads. Shoulder.
That is literally
elbow pads. Shoulder pads.
That is literally Sean.
Everything. Like, I need to know. I need to know if.
And I'm the opposite. I will literally be like, no helmet, no seatbelt, no knee pads, nothing. Like. Not even, maybe even the eyes closed and just like rollerblading. Like, we're so different in that aspect, but you have definitely grown. I feel like even for me, I feel like I have enjoyed a taste of stability and security and doing things that are sensible and not always reckless. However, I feel like I'll always have the reckless side because that's just my personality. But it is.
And that's like me. Nice, like, I will still always have that
he's
side.
He's always going to be the sensible guy.
I'm always good. Yeah, but then at the same time, I also understand that, you know, being safe.
Let's get loose.
What was it? Again, being
not the right word. Not the right
word. Being safe. Just threw me off. Being safe in my 20s, it didn't really get me anywhere. It was taking the risk that got me to places, because it's like, right, if I put myself out in the water, that's how I'm gonna find out whether I will sink or swim. Yeah. You know what I mean? And more times than not, just because of my natural instinct to research and learn and do something before I go and do it, just hurry up and speed up that process, and then can I swim? All right, cool. Just jump in.
Sometimes you don't even need to know how to swim. You just need to know how to float.
You need to just do it. You
know how to float. Yeah, and you'll be just fine.
But that's the sensitive side, because I still can't float.
I think I can't float. He's gonna learn. We're gonna teach him.
It's not possible. It is
possible. I just don't know why your bottom half sinks. Like, you just. I just don't understand it.
Like, I would just lay there like that.
But we saw something on Instagram that maybe the way that you're floating is wrong.
Because we saw that it said my head needs to be
forward.
No, not forward.
Backward.
So if I'm floating facing down, I need to be looking down.
Oh, yes.
I need to be looking down. And
so maybe
I'm always looking up, like, because I'm thinking, right, I need to be above water level.
Right, okay.
So we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes.
But yeah, so yeah, I think 30 is going to be interesting. I'm very excited. I'm thinking of themes for my birthday. I'm not really a birthday celebrator.
Yeah.
I'd just like to go on holiday, but I might actually do something in the UK for once.
Yeah. We've got a lot of things happening and in the pipeline at the moment. So I do feel that when we do have our next update next month.
Are we not updating today?
Well.
Wait, what are you talking about? Yeah, I think you should.
But.
Because it will be more of an
because
update next
because
time.
look at the time.
Okay,
and
I can't
two,
see without my glasses.
Yeah, I can tell. And two, I feel like it needs its own section.
Okay, can I update on a final thing then?
Go on. You're probably about to name drop. Yeah, that's what you do.
I won't. I'm on my best behavior this time. Just in terms of our actual business, how we've grown, that we've actually made it as a 6-figure business, guys.
Oh yes.
Like, I'm in shock. Yes, I am actually in shock because we sat with our accountant the other day and he said last year we'd made something like 50K.
Is that 50K or something?
Which
yeah.
is
Look at you. Look at that attitude. I was like, yeah, it's just 50K.
Yeah, I was about to say, which is
50K.
really crap. I was just about to say that, but literally that's the salary. Like that salary I was on like, a few years back.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like that's actually and I thought that was really, really good money. And it still is, guys. It still is, but just not in terms of what we want to achieve for ourselves.
Yeah.
That's where we're kind of going with it. But then we found out that we'd made over 300K last year. That's not even this
sales,
year where we've gone ham. So I'm so excited to hear. Well, I feel like we can definitely double that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely sure we can double that in the next year.
100%.
Especially with us going into like
other
ventures,
other
new
strategies.
Yeah, so
doing
I'm
different
very excited
things.
to do that.
Yeah. But even just kind of rounding off because
he's cutting me off.
Yeah, no, because like
Why
I can tell that you can't see
why would you do that?
Because I can tell that you can't see that
I
over
can
time.
see you.
So what time is it?
Don't do that.
There we go. So, another thing again, we was talking about property management earlier. If you are interested in property management and you've been struggling to get experience, right? Do reach out to us at our email, which is info@homeunitgroup.co.uk, right? Let us know your any experience that you do have. One thing that you do need to have is that you need to have something that shows that you have invested in yourself, right? Whether you've attended certain things, or it doesn't even have to be that you've paid for something, but we need to see that you've invested in yourself, because then we know that you're serious. If you have that, come to us and have a chat and we'll see how we can help you.
Yeah.
But you done?
Yeah, I'm finished. I am finished.
Yeah.
But that has been the life updates. The major one that we are excited to share will probably be next month. So you guys would have to just stay tuned.
Yeah, you're gonna have to wait. Sorry.
Yeah. And actually, that means we can like have a wider.
Yeah, we can talk through the whole process and our thoughts as to why we did it.
Indeed.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at you, you're just boiling. You just want to be like.
I find like, again, this was something that if I didn't make this before 30, I was gonna punch up someone.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it.
Yeah, I'm glad that we've done it. But yeah, I feel like that's all in terms of the life updates. We hope you guys' businesses are going really, really well. Again, reach out to us if you have any questions. We've pretty much made every failure in the book in order to get to the successes. So if you have any questions, no question is a stupid question. Actually, I don't believe in that saying. Sometimes there are stupid questions, so don't bother asking them if they are stupid. But outside of that, we're more than happy to help, and we hope you enjoyed this.
No, it's a stupid question if you've been told where to look and you didn't want to go look.
It's a stupid question. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed the episode, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Peace. Thank you for watching to the end, guys. We really appreciate it. As a little thank you gift to you, we'd like to give you an invite to join our free WhatsApp community where we drop a lot of gems.
If you're still watching, then thank you so much. But more importantly, if you could like and subscribe to this channel to help us bring you more content that we know you'll just love.